Welcome to Raging Bullets, a DC Comics fan podcast, episode 785.
From the sleepy suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio, there are assembled the world's two greatest podcast hosts, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Sean Whalen.
Welcome to Raging Bullets, a DC Comics fan podcast. I'm a big fan of variant colors. My love for Batman is that stuff. Let's talk some comics.
And Jim Segulin.
How's it going, eh? You know me and Superman. I'm really loving what we're doing. Raging Bullets is a spoiler podcast.
Their mission, to discuss DC Comics in books, movies, and television several times a month in 1 to 3 hour episodes. And to serve all mankind.
Outstanding.
Welcome to Raging Bullets. I'm Sean Whalen, drnorge. I'm joined as always by my co-host Jim, the sensei of the whatnot, the Duke of the Sultan of Strategery, the Minister of More Gooder, the Professor of the Art Read-Through, is worried he might be legend and just doesn't know it, and of course he remains the elder statesman of the podcast, Segulin.
How's it going, eh?
Jim, on this episode, we're going to be talking about the brand new Batman #1, Immortal Legend Batman #1, and Justice League's Dark Tomorrow Special #1. We are sponsored, as always, by DCB Service and InStockTrades.com. Mr. Segulin, what is going on over at DCBService.com?
In Brightest Days and Blackest Night, Absolute Blackest Night hardcover, 2026 edition. 38% off, only $77.50. This concludes the full story of Blackest Night from 0 to 8, Green Lantern 43 to 48, as well as 50 to 52, as well as some deleted scenes, the complete script to Blackest Night #1, series commentary from Jeff Johns, and more than 30 pages of sketch material. So I know I already have Blackest Night, Absolute Blackest Night. I'm probably going to be getting a second version of it.
Really?
I'm thinking about it because I loved Blackest Night so much, and I'm looking at this going,
So read by the Absolute.
I'm thinking about it right now, man.
I'm glad they're doing these. Here's the question. I've got to look back at my Absolute Blackest Night, because one of the things they did is, what is that one with Darwin Cook, the Absolute Justice League New Frontier.
Yeah.
So when they re-released it, they included that special that wasn't in the original version of the Absolute.
Oh, cool.
Remember they released a special afterwards? So I'm glad when they do these re-releases, when it makes sense, they add extra material in. I'm glad they're keeping these Absolutes in print, because it's an affordable way. You know, if you're somebody who missed them, you don't have to go and like pay an arm and a leg to get, and unless you're like, I've got to have the original version of it, which I understand. I mean, depending on where your collector mentality is. But to me, if you're just looking for like a brand new copy so that way you can read and enjoy this, I'm glad they're doing these. I think it's really, really great that they're looking at these as, making sure that the collectors that want them have access to them at a price point that they can address. Getting these at these discounts is just a great way to go. So over at InStockTrades.com, speaking of keeping material in print or putting it into print if it hasn't been in a long time, DC Finest, The Spectre, The Wrath of the Spectre. This is 656 pages going all the way back to Showcase 60 and 61, The Spectre 1 through 10, Adventure Comics, and so on. I mean, I'm not going to read off every issue, but my gosh, these have never been collected in prior Spectre volumes in the, like in this configuration. This is $39.99 regularly, 55% off, only $17.99, 656 pages. These books are outstanding. If you're a collector that's like, I want physical versions of this hard to find stuff, these are beautiful volumes. They really, really are. Consider picking one up, and trying it out. This would be a good one to do it, because there's a number of issues in there that I have not read. And I really enjoy the character of the Spectre, but I have not read everything, and I certainly would love to go back to some of the early stuff like this. I want to thank DCB Service and InStockTrades.com for continuing your support of our show. Mr. Segulin, what kind of a podcast are we?
Raging Bullets is a spoiler podcast. We go in depth into plotline, story twists, and whatnot of the comics we're discussing on today's show. So, if you ever read the books, you may want to come back later so you can better enjoy the show.
Let's talk some comics.
You won't get away from me this time, Buster.
Jim, just a couple quick things I wanted to talk about from like a Speeding Bullets perspective. I wanted to shout out, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm jonesing to watch it this week, that Aztec Batman came out. Ooh. And it's more of these like Elseworlds films that are coming out. They just did a sequel to the Ninja Batman one. Now they've got this one out. I'm glad they're continuing these direct-to-video releases. I think it's one of the things I was worried about when James Gunn was taking over. It's like, what does that mean for some of the other content that we're getting? It's so funny that I say that. I was mentioning when we were talking about some of these films, like Hush, for example, that sometimes I forget that I've seen some of them because of the fact that there's been so many of them that have come out. But I like that. I actually really like that in my library. When I'm bored, I can go back and rewatch some of the DC movies that I've only seen one time that really, like any other film, deserve a second viewing. These are exciting. The Aztec Batman one, I just saw the trailer for it. It looks sweet. I love Elseworlds. And I'm glad that we're getting this type of thing still from DC. Was this one been on your radar at all?
I didn't even know about it until you just mentioned it now. That's how far off the radar it was. I didn't even hear anything about this. But I'll be honest with you, I dig the Elseworld stuff, and Aztec Batman would be something I think I'd probably dig.
I got that DC's Finest Hawkman trade that just came out, and it's really good. Because those are the early stories, and a lot of those I haven't read. And so this is going back, Joe Kubert art. It's really, really great stuff. This is like the original, like, Katar and Shira coming to Earth, and how they got the name Carter and Shira as far as being kind of more with local law enforcement, and just how they learned. They were aliens who were learning about Earth through some of their equipment. So they learned Earth customs and started to figure out how to blend in and become a part of the world. And it's just really cool. It was like very well thought out that they didn't just magically arrive and they were able to talk English and understand all of our customs. Right. They had to use computers to kind of get acclimated. And I haven't remembered a ton of stories that really focused on that. They did that without beating you over the head with it, if I'm making any sense. Like, it was a cool lane that they were exploring, on top of the fact that it was great superhero action and everything that you get to see. I'm digging it so far. I'm a Hawkman junkie, but this early stuff I haven't read a lot of. And I'm really, really liking this DC Finest line because they're affordable, but they're also, it's physical. I've got like this reading area I set up in my basement that I'll read off my iPad on there too and everything. But this is where I'm going when I'm reading trades and omnibuses. I found that these things have been collecting dust, because I get them for the purpose of, I've got them physically now. So now you go ahead, try to take it away digitally if you want to. I still own it. That's been kind of my mentality. Now I'm going into the whole, no, I'm going to sit down and read this stuff. And I'm enjoying that. It's fun, like the physical feel of paper. It's such a weird thing to say when you've been away from it for a while, because I've been reading a lot digitally. And I'm glad that I have that. Did you order the DC Marvel Batman Deadpool? Like, that's out. Yeah. So do you actually physically have it?
Yes, in the one box, I think.
Yeah. So mine's on the way. For whatever reason, I didn't realize this thing was physical only. So I went and ordered from Midtown Comics. I ordered like multiple copies of it with the different covers and things. I'm like, I want that cover. I want that cover. I want that cover. Then I started looking at my shopping cart. I'm like, I got to stop getting that cover, because it really was like a candy store.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. So I've got that on order. I don't have it yet, so I don't have any comments on it, but we'll certainly comment on it as soon as I have a chance to get it, because I'm really excited for that piece. The Batman issue that we're going to talk about in a couple minutes, I showed you when you were in Vegas. It came in the mail. I forgot I ordered the oversized version. So I'm like sitting here, I'm like, what is this big box that I got? And, because I'm used to getting my DCBS boxes, and I'm used to them being larger because I get a lot of trades and hardcovers and stuff. I open it up. Not only do I have the regular physical copy, but then I have this giant size. Like, they need to do more of these. Like, if they would release this book giant size every month, I'd buy it giant size every month. I love that. It's like, it's bigger than the Absolute, I think, in like its whole presentation.
Its dimensions, I think so.
Yeah.
Or close to it.
Yeah. I mean, so I just really, really liked the whole presentation. I think it's a great idea. It's the Treasury edition. We grew up with those Treasury editions. I'm a Treasury geek. So I'm like, well, this is like having a Treasury edition again. I was showing my wife, and she gave me about like acknowledgement for about 10 minutes. Then she was out.
Good.
She was out. I mean, no, she's very good at like entertaining me. And I recognize when like, okay, I'm going too far here. She actually,
you're going full geek. When you go full geek, that's when you lose her.
And that's the problem is like, I am like, really, it's like almost like a disease with like with her, I am the anti-comics. Like, so if there's any chance that she would be interested in comics, I don't give it a chance because it's like too much. So I'm trying to pare that back, but this thing's huge. I couldn't. I mean, it was my first time in a while that I had like such a massive geek out in front of her, and I couldn't help myself. It was just due to the thing's it's great.
Hey, I get you, man. I get it. And I run into that at work sometimes when someone will mention something and I go full geek. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm going full geek on you. And everyone chuckles at that line so that they're like, hey, okay. They give me some leeway, especially like when the Superman movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went full geek on that, and there was a lot of stuff, and I was running through just commentary on some of the stuff that they're doing in the movie, and just that, and I was like, and so it was not pretty, but I don't care. I held nothing back when people started bringing up the Superman movie, so.
No, that was one. It's such an interesting thing because I was just with a group of friends yesterday and we were talking about it. And you know what the nice thing about that film is? I haven't met anybody who has a negative reaction to it. Like there was the whole thing for a while where people were saying that, it's too woke or that type of thing. Even my friends that fell into that category, which I'm still not seeing the woke part of it. That's just me. But my friends who fell in that category, they didn't say, and this is in defense of them and being fair, I didn't say I hated the film. I liked it. There was just some parts of it. And I think the one piece that seemed to be for a very good friend of mine who his issue was, why did we make Superman so weak? And I said, but there's such a storytelling reason to this. And it really was. I mean, so that part like really worked for me, as far as it wasn't just like they depowered him and there was no reason for it. There was a story driven reason. And I'd like to see like maybe the next film, they don't do that. If that makes sense.
And here's one of the things, like, because one of the full geek I went on at work was someone said that same thing to me, where they made Superman too weak, and I'm like, but they didn't. They explained it.
Yes.
The reason he got his butt kicked is because Superman always pulls his punches.
Mm-hmm.
He never wants to hurt anybody. He always pulls his punches. He was up against somebody who had zero regard for pulling his punches. Plus, who was also a little bit juiced up, so he was a little bit stronger. But the whole thing, though, is Superman doesn't, and the one person didn't like the scene with the baby. And I'm like, that is such classic Superman that he's getting beaten up, but he's still protecting the baby. He put the safety of that little baby over his own personal physical safety. And I was sitting there and I'm going on, and people are like, I'm going full geek on you just because those are some of the great Superman moments for me. And it was funny because I turned the one guy around because as I'm going through this, he's like, I never even remotely thought of that. I'm like, oh God, yeah, this is classic Superman. This right here is the comic book Superman at its finest. And they're like, oh, wow. And it was funny. They went home and watched it again. And we were talking later, like, yeah, I can see what you're talking about. I'm like, man, yeah. So it was my full geek on mode actually did some positive good.
Yeah, and so that wasn't the part I really enjoyed, though, because everyone I was talking to, I know we all are going to have different temperatures when it comes to films. I just love the fact that I was sitting there and I'm like, well, there's nobody here that really hated the movie. They fell in different categories of, I thought it was good, I thought it was great. Which, I don't know, that's kind of normal. We're not all going to think the same stuff is great. So it was fun just having a conversation around this film and not having, I think for a while there was the pile on the superhero movies where they all stink.
Yeah.
That was kind of the overall theme was that was going on. And it felt refreshing to be able to have a conversation around a recent release. Fantastic Four we talked about too, and everyone liked that. So yeah. It was like fun. It's fun to talk about the geek culture stuff again and have people who actually really like it.
Yeah. Here, funny thing for you, on the plane, for those who don't know, I was in Vegas and also I had the flight out there and the flight back. I was able to watch a movie each way. Going out there, I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'd finally seen it.
Oh, you hadn't seen it yet?
I hadn't seen it yet.
What'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. That was a great movie. I'm like, damn, I wish I'd seen this on the big screen. Oh, well.
You know what? There was some fight scenes in that like on the big screen were spectacular.
Yeah.
If it comes back around, I would see it.
Yeah. And I'm actually thinking about maybe I'll get it on, actually own a digital copy of it so I can actually watch it on a larger screen. Even if I'm watching on my Apple monitor, it'll still be a larger screen than the airplane screen. And the other one I watched, which I absolutely loved, I thought was hysterical. Thunderbolts.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I finally watched that. I love that movie. I was like, damn, this is a great movie. And I'm like, I don't know why people weren't raving about it. There was like, I didn't hear anything about it.
Anybody that I know that saw it liked it. So, it wasn't, I think it fell under the radar because of the Thunderbolts thing. And I think people didn't know what the Thunderbolts were. Yeah. I think that's more of a victim of the movie churn where so many Marvel movies have been coming out for a while. What I really liked about this year and what was going on, particularly with the Marvel films, is they were all different. Even go back to Captain America. If you look at Captain America, Thunderbolts, and then you get into the Fantastic Four and stuff like that, and Deadpool and Wolverine, those are 4 movies that they were all very different. So it was, if you certainly can't get bored with those. If there's one you thought was, that was okay, the next one I'm sure was probably more your cup of tea because of the variety. That's what they need to lean into more. I think if you want to stop this superhero fatigue that's going on out there, the presence of it, I do think it's more the idea that they feel the same. And I think what they've done over the last year, little year plus, and these most recent releases is kind of mixed it up a bit. And I think that the movies are better served for it. We know that as comic fans, when you read a comic series, it's much more fun when there's a lot of variety out there. Actually, we're going to talk about 3 books today that are very different from each other in their presentation. 2 of them would star Batman, and there couldn't be more different than each other. Did you get a chance to read Red Hood?
Yes.
So I haven't read the whole thing yet. I started reading it. I intended to read it for this, just to kind of share some thoughts on it. We originally were going to talk about Red Hood on this episode. And really, the only reason why I yanked it was not because of any fear of talking about anything political. It was more the fact that I like when we do these, if we're going to do single issues, that we're pushing people towards something that they may want to pick up and follow. So, everything we're doing now is leading into something. So that was the whole point of it. And when I pulled it, that was really the reason why. I think what I'll do for next episode is I'll read it. We'll talk a little bit about it because I think because of the controversy, I kind of want to talk about it a little bit just because I want to talk about what could have been, which is why I really want to read it, because I was excited for that. A mature Red Hood series. And put politics aside, whatever your feelings were on as far as whether they should or shouldn't have canceled it, I'd still like to talk about the book that could have been, because whatever you feel about the writer, we've got an entire team associated with that book.
Yeah, see?
And I'd like to just take a look at, did I even like it? So far, whatever, the pages I've read, I really enjoyed. I've only read like the intro to it though, so I'm just got started. So I haven't really gotten my feet fully wet with the whole thing yet. And it's just by schedule the past couple of days. I was just at a funeral today. And I was at a wake yesterday, and so my plans on what I was intending to do for this episode didn't quite get there yet. So I was all read up on the books that we're going to talk about today. That was one that I was going to talk about as a bonus, and I didn't have a chance to get to it. So we'll make that for next episode. Just chat casually. We'll do like a speeding bolts type of thing. Talk a little bit about the Red Hood that could have been, just from that standpoint. Anyway, let's jump into the main event. Let's talk about Batman #1, which it's amazing that, like, I talked about a whole bunch of other stuff, but I did talk about how big it is. But Batman #1, Matt Fraction is the writer, Jorge Jimenez on art and cover. We got Tomio Mori on colors, Clayton Cowles on letters, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Tomio Mori, Mark Silvestri, Arif Prianto, J. Scott Campbell, Tanya Lehu, Frank Quitely, Gabriel Deodato, Julian Totino Tedesco, Stanley Artgerm Lau, Andy Kubert, Steve Furchow, David Aja, Jorge Jimenez on the variant covers, Jessica Burby, associate editor, Rob Levin, editor, and I know I butchered names there for any of you, if in any way, shape, or form. If no insult was meant, I wanted to acknowledge the fact that a lot of people were involved in the creative of this one. And I am geeking out.
Oh, yeah.
This checked there's ways that they put back in play things that I wanted. Alfred's in this in some capacity. I loved the solution of the way that they put Alfred in with this AI Alfred that's in there. I was like geeking out. He's like driving the Batmobile. There's an AI Alfred next to him, sitting next to him. I'm like, oh yes, I know I'm jumping around, but wait. That was like my geek out moment was like, oh, they're doing this.
I know, that was awesome.
Yeah, the right feels, right?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And it's funny because just diving right into Alfred, part of me wonders, because I'm like 99% certain it's there's not an actual projection of Alfred. It's only Bruce's goggles and he's hearing that can hear and see Alfred.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if any other member of the Bat family, however, has access, if their masks have access to the AI Alfred, or if it's just Bruce. And that's the big mystery I'm wondering, because we really haven't seen any of the other Bat family members in the series yet interacting with Alfred.
There is one, though, at the end of this particular issue, who could have been involved in the creation of said Alfred.
Exactly. Yes.
Which I'm geeking out about, too.
Oh, big time. Oh, yeah. Oh, big time on that as well. And again, but that's the one thing I do wonder is, because I was thinking, is this something that Bruce is just doing for himself? Or is he making everyone access to it? Oh, and again, that would be kind of, for me, I'm thinking it's just Bruce is the only one who sees him. Sees and hears him. That this is, and again, it's Bruce admitting that he needs Alfred. Oh, and Bruce having that, again, having a stronger emotional stance there where he's admitting that, hey, I miss Alfred. Yeah. Now that emotional release kind of thing. I'm very happy for him. He's actually making progress on that front. Maybe he'll actually, some good stuff will come out of this, I hope. Not something bad. And I'm always worried about something bad coming out of this.
Are you caught up on Tom Taylor's run in Detective?
No, I think I'm a couple issues behind.
We're going to have to eventually put on the slate a arc from Tom Taylor's run, because I've just really been loving it. There's a new one coming up. They were announcing it in one of the books. There's a new, or maybe it was online. There is a new story arc where he's introducing a new villain into the Batman mythos. So I'd really like to check out, that may be timing wise with all the stuff we've already got on the slate. That might be a good time when that arc's wrapped up to jump on that and do it on the show to talk about his run. Cause I don't want to ignore Detective Comics as we're talking about how great Batman is, cause Detective Comics is fantastic. I mean, this is really a great time to be a Batman fan. Batman and Robin's a great book too. Like, we've got just a lot of really good books that are out there.
There's a lot out there for us to read. There's a lot out there to be Bat happy and to be Superman happy, to be Wonder Woman happy. There's DC right now is this is a great time to read. I'm sitting there. The hardest problem I have is finding time to read stuff. That's my biggest problem. Not finding quality or finding something I want to read. And so for me, that's a wonderful time to be around.
Can we jump back to this cover real quick and the logo?
Yeah.
Because we haven't really talked about that. This is a true relaunch of Batman. We're in the sense that we're giving the cover a different aesthetic. We've got a brand new logo. I bought a shirt of that logo. I've got a hat coming of that logo. It says Batman Day. They had all kinds of merch.
Oh, nice.
So they had like a shirt with the logo. They had, they can get a pillow in that logo shape. And I've got that coming too.
Oh, okay. You do have
Yeah, this is going to my reading room because like I've got this old gaming chair and it's actually really nice. Are you okay over there? That was like a squeal.
That was one of my neighbors squealing the car. I've got my window open.
Yeah.
And
you got all kinds of stuff going on. There was like birds chirping and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm afraid for the birds with what's going on over there. I have a feeling you should go out and fight crime right now.
I think it's time.
Yeah. But the logo, I thought it was really cool that Batman Day came up and they had all this Batman Day merch, which is available on dccomics.com. I'm sure you can still see it now. I got the email about it. I saw the stuff. I'm like, it wasn't a want, Jim. It was a need.
It was a need. Yeah.
They have this logo in a pillow. Ask me what I need that for. I'm not really sure, but I'll put it like next to me in the chair when I sit there. I'll be comfier, right?
Hey, a good throw pillow can accentuate any room, and you just bring out the ambiance and just bring out that zing that you need. And that's what the pillow is.
It is. I need more zing. I like that. That'll be my justification. I did it for the zing. What do you think of the look of Batman in this? Because we've got a style. This is a very stylized book. Like, I mean, they're really, this is a creative team style. It's Jorge Jimenez, very familiar with the artwork from other storytelling, but this one, they really leaned heavily on what they want this book to look like. Color-wise, everything. There's a pop to this. I really like the design. What do you think about the Batman's overall look?
Well, okay, so Batman's overall look, I really dig this. And again, like you, I did also like the chest emblem and all that kind of stuff. And it is kind of neat that they're dancing with the costume. They're changing him around. We've always said how we like when Batman has these little tweaks. It's explainable.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just tweaking some stuff here. This is a little bit different. But I gotta tell you, I loved seeing Gordon. I love seeing Officer Gordon.
Beat Cop Gordon, yes.
Beat Cop Gordon is back, baby. And it was funny because I remember in the ongoing series when he was talking about how he's going to get back on the force, and he's like, Savage will put me back on just to laugh at me. Mm-hmm. But I still got a bit left in me to do. I've got a job to do. And I love that that's why Gordon's doing it, to do the job. And he knows Vandal Savage let him come in, let him sign up just to laugh at him and mock him. But he doesn't know Gordon well enough. He doesn't know that this isn't mockery to Gordon. This right here, he's loving being on the street again. I love the look of him. I love just that, that comfort with what he is doing. This is who he is. I love seeing it. You run into a lot of times with cops, where when they start going beyond into the office, the lieutenants, the captains, the command, all that kind of stuff, they start to lose that beat cop. They start losing that street cop, because they get so stuck with paperwork and this and that and regulations and this, and they lose grasp on what the day-to-day cop does. I love that Gordon, one, never lost it. And two, he's able to jump right back into those shoes again and do the job that needs to be done. I love that. I love seeing this. And you're talking artwork, just some of the looks of just calm on his face as he's home again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was something that, again, the art really brought home on that. But again, just the choices they made on when to have high detail background and when to keep the background simple so you can focus on the people. Like that opening panel with Gordon and Officer Espinosa. That opening panel, you get to really see the city landscape. And then when you start focusing, you want us to focus on just their faces, they kind of like whitewash the background.
Yeah.
Same thing like with that doctor, they do that kind of stuff. When you want us to really focus on her, they whitewash the background. But our first appearance of Croc, it has some really cool flash and pop of lightning as he's running through the city. So that is something that I think Art really did a brilliant job with, not just the imagery of the individuals, but just their background on what makes us, they're forcing our eyes to look where they want us to go. And I love that.
I love the way that Croc is framed in the shadows, because you think it's probably Killer Croc, but I like that there's kind of that initially, like, is that? Because he just looks beastly, in a very different way. I mean, so again, we're continuing to evolve this character, and I think that's when Croc's at his best, when they play around with the different evolutions of Croc over time and what it does to him as far as psychologically. We're seeing that piece as far of it too, because this is Batman's investigating this piece and he's been called in as backup. We get to see, and I love that shot where he's staring out of where he ripped his way out, where Croc ripped his way out.
Yep.
And you get to see just the whole look of Batman. That is beautiful and stunning, but I love the detective work. We're seeing a lot of detective work and a lot of relationships with people in Gotham. I'm liking this continued growth of Batman. This is different than the dark and brooding Batman. That guy's not completely gone. There's portions of that edge there. Batman's got an edge, but I do like that we're much more, he's got more allies. He's got more people that are willing to trust him. He has a way of operating, and they know that he's a guy, like when he's on this, they can have a conversation around the fact, listen, he admitted himself by choice. He came here for therapy. This isn't what it seems. And I love that kind of debate that's going on here because of Batman's past history with Killer Croc. I love that this whole thing I really loved the intrigue of what really is going on with Croc and how is Batman going to ultimately react to it. That was something I just really dug about this whole issue.
Dude, and I'll tell you, a couple of stuff I didn't catch until my art read through. All the dinosaurs on Croc's walls in his room.
Yeah.
Including there's the little T-Rex, the stuffed T-Rex that we see later on. There's a dino with a big heart there, but all the dinosaur stuff that Croc did. So again, didn't catch that until I didn't even catch it on my second read through. I caught it on my third read through. And again, because I was so focused on Batman, so focused on the doctor coming in and all that. And then I took time and I just started looking around. That's when I started seeing all the little dino stuff. I was like, oh, that is awesome. That is absolutely brilliant too, especially where this goes at the end without the dinosaurs. But everything you said, I'm completely agreeing with you on. Yeah. And I love the fact that Batman initially isn't calling him Wayland. He's like, I don't call him Wayland. He hasn't been Wayland for a long time. I try to keep them separate in my mind. That way it's easier when they inevitably disappoint you. I love the fact that is the initial side of where Bat's at, is where his head is at. This is Croc. This isn't Wayland. Wayland's gone. This is Killer Croc. And again, you gotta love when you get these doctors who are like, no, it's on one hand, you sit there and how is the Joker able to escape from Arkham all the time? Because of doctors like this. But can Croc get help? Maybe because of a doctor like this. Maybe we can actually cure Croc. Maybe something can happen. I don't know. But I loved seeing this doctor. And again, I love seeing these new introduced characters who they're not freaking out by Batman and they're standing their ground. I would expect person who chose to work in Arkham Tower, chose to work with Killer Croc, would have the strength of character not to back down from Batman, but to stand her ground. And she does it with respect, but she still does stand her ground. And I love that.
I like, though, that this isn't an argument. And I'm really very clear. They have different viewpoints on this, but I really like the collaborative conversation. Like, this is someone, I'm hoping that she turns out to be like a reoccurring character and on the up and up. Because I really like this. This is what I like about the relationship with Dr. Leslie Tompkins as well.
Yeah.
And I really like that Batman has these confidants. I don't want to see yet another confidant turn on him. It makes any sense. But I mean, obviously, writers, take me wherever you're going to. You got your little plan here. But I really enjoyed, like, they're doing whatever they're doing with this character. It's doing all the right things right now, because I'm enjoying the relationship with Batman and her and where it's going. It's adding something new. The tech gadgets on Bruce is something I'd be remiss. Those goggles, like when he's tapping on his face, I love when we keep advancing Batman. And the fact that they made the choice to keep advancing Batman with this was very, very strong, because I just kept saying, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. And I feel like with a new Batman series where you're doing this, if it feels like we just slapped the number 1 on there, and it doesn't feel like we're starting to do something fresh and really kind of changing status quo and getting things going, then why did you do it? This isn't one of those. This is why they did it. I'm like, oh yes, this is all, and I like that it was, and I'm going to go back to something I said right at the start of the conversation. I love that it had the right feels that I wanted, but they delivered what I was looking for in ways that I didn't know that I would love, if I'm making any sense.
Oh, no, I get you. And like with the gadgetry, one of the things that I do like Batman, the fact that Batman's the greatest detective.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a gadget to win the day just because he's that dang good. But these gadgetries fit in so well. It's not like I'm thinking, oh, if I had the Batman's costume, I could do what he does. No, I know I could. You need to be Batman with this gear to do it correctly. Now, there are times I wonder, like throughout the Iron Man arc, could anybody hop in the Iron Man armor and actually do stuff? How much of it is Tony, how much of it is Rhodes in the armor that make them a level above everybody else? Well, with Bat, it needs to be the Bat to doing this stuff with this equipment. If he just threw the costume on somebody else, they wouldn't be able to use it the way he uses it. They wouldn't be the detective with the tech assistance.
Can we talk so much about this splash page with the Batwing? When he's doing the flight suit. First of all, I love that it's called the Batwing, which is traditionally, has to do with the craft, but instead in his case, well, I mean, I guess you could refer back to Batwing, the character of Batwing as well. But I love that Batman's using this as a flight suit and all of those pieces. But what else I love is this modern look at Gotham. Gotham is a modern, thriving city in what's happening here. And there's, like any modern thriving city, it has its very, very dark areas, but you're seeing this kind of, like, this is something where it can be talked about in the same breath of Metropolis, because of, there being money in Gotham. But it's not anywhere near the safe level of Metropolis. It's just a different vibe, a very, very different vibe. I love the media screens going all the way through, giving you a flavor for what today's media looks like in Gotham City. It was something I loved in Dark Knight Returns back in the day, because it kind of set a flavor of the future of what Batman looked like. And I love that here it's setting the status quo of, this is what Gotham is today. This is what this realm is like today. If you're going to needle move like this, you got to give us a whole picture, give us a flavor. And very much, this is a Gotham that has moved. There's been movement here in Gotham. I'm not saying that it's all great or anything like that, but there is a real sense of, this is something that there's been some kind of shift that has happened. And what this shift means is going to be something that's very interesting to see.
Oh God, yeah. And I love the tactical, the tactical corset brought to you by LexCorp, and just the media thing. But that landscape, one of the things I loved about it is we've got some of those big, flashy new buildings right alongside some of those classic Gothic architecture. And that's the kind of stuff you see in an old city that is becoming new. And I know there's parts of New York City where it's all flashy, and then you just look slightly, you'll see that Gothic side. Chicago has that kind of landscape where you've got those really flashy modern with that beautiful older style buildings. And we've said it once, we'll say it 1,000 times, we'll say it 1,000 times more. Gotham City has to be a character. It has to be a character in all the best Batman stories. And we're right off the jump, we are seeing Gotham is playing a part of that. I love that. And I'm so happy that this is, cause you need the supporting cast and Gotham City has to be one of them. So yes, I loved this landscape right along with you, man.
Vandal Savage continuing on as commissioner, which is something that I also didn't know I wanted. And I'm really liking how it's playing out on this and what it's setting us up for in Gotham. This is something I kept thinking I want, and I still want it. I would like Jim Gordon to eventually topple him and take over, but I'm really liking how this is playing out in this book so far and what it's setting stage for in this series, especially with where the end of the issue goes, which we'll talk about. But I really am liking Vandal Savage in this role in this more than I thought I was going to. I thought I'd be like done with it at this point. I mean, kind of like, all right, and we've kind of seen enough of this with Vandal. Let's get back to normal with Gotham. But I think they've given me enough shift where I'm feeling like different status quo with him still in his seat of power. And it's really working for me, which I didn't think I'd want.
Oh, God, yeah. And I'll tell you, these tactical urban combat officers, private security that are getting deputized. One of the things yes, I love this, that this is something Vandal would do. He has his own goon squad. This is his personal thing. But two, the day is going to come when there's going to be these tactical guys and Savage is going to order them to do something and they're all going to lift up their masks and it's going to be the Bat family.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And I'm eagerly waiting for that moment when it turns out the goon squad got taken out by the Bat fam, by various members of the Bat family. And they're like, I don't think so. And I think, again, like you, I'm waiting for Gordon to take out Savage. Gordon is going to become commissioner again. We both know it's going to happen, and I'm waiting I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm going to trust this creative team to give me a really cool story as to how Gordon takes over, how Gordon becomes the commissioner. Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now. I have no idea what time frame they're planning on going with this. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. But those are two things that immediately popped in my head when I saw this team, when I saw Gordon. I'm like, oh, we're going to get we had a good beginning story for Vandal Savage. We're right now in the middle, and we're going to get the end of Vandal Savage in this series. And I'm looking forward to that.
We talked about the Alfred sequence and with him being in the Batmobile as an AI. I'd be curious to see if he's in the Batcave like that too, isn't he? Am I right? Yeah. So we have this Alfred AI that travels around with Bruce, but I got to talk about that Batmobile because I really like it. And what I love about it is it's kind of like the perfect amalgamation of everything I love about Batmobiles. Where it's sporty, which is got to have that, right? It looks cool. Like I want to get in and drive that, but it also feels like it's a beast on the road. I mean, it's got the right balance of that without feeling like it's this obscenely hulking vehicle. I need it to feel like, man, it's going to do some damage if it hits something, but at the same time, it's a ride. Like it's cool to be in the Batmobile. It's got that flavor to it. It's like a perfect marriage of like some really cool movie ones with some really cool comic book ones. And I like that it just feels and looks classic and different at the same time. I just love it. It's really, really a good style. It looks like a modern muscle car with like, and somebody just said, how do we make it also look like a tank?
Yes. And on everything you said, yes, this is definitely, it's performance, it's high performance, but it's also tactical. And I love that. I love the look. Well, love the outside look of it. And I'm not really a big car guy. I'm not, but even I'm like, dang, that's awesome. It's kind of like when you see a classic Mustang, even if you're not a car guy, you go, dang, that looks cool. When you see this rolling down the street, you're just like, damn, I want one.
And some of the models I like, I'm with you. I'm not a car guy either, but some of the models of the Mustangs and things like that, and it's not all of them. It's not across the board. There's certain flavors where you're at certain years where you're like looking at, now that's a good looking car. and I'm a little bit jealous of that car. So I'm looking at it the same way. When it bursts into Robinson Park, you've got that whole sequence going on. That is just such a great sequence. It's great to see Batman come out of the vehicle, immediately get into the fight. We got Scissors Guy running around. I loved everything about that scene because I was ready. I need some action. Like, give me some action now. Just especially with it being a new book. I need to see Batman being Batman. And I really liked how that whole, it was just hitting everybody. It's like, this is a guy dealing with numbers. So I totally get what he was doing, and it definitely allowed him to even the playing field there. It was a great use of the Batmobile as far as a tactical combat situation. It was cool.
And you think about it, if you're up against overwhelming numbers, you drop the first couple really hard and really fast, the rest scatter.
Yep.
The rest get afraid because of the fact that they just watched 6 of their friends drop in a heartbeat. I'm not going to be number 7. See ya. And they're going to run. And again, it's the whole superstitious, cowardly lot. Right there, we're seeing these are cowards. They're attacking at night. They're going after vulnerable people. It's, of course, they're going to run at the fear of an actual true threat. And I love seeing that. And especially love that when he goes to leave, like, you're going to leave us here? No, car, protect them. That was in the Batman voice. This whole time he's talking in the Bat voice, but especially he probably had a little extra gravel when he says, protect them. Like, yeah.
This is AI use at its best when he goes and he's talking to Alfred and analyzing the crime scene.
Yeah.
I just think this is like, to me, you're alone, but you got to play off of somebody. And you can understand how, as a detective, talking it through with somebody forces him to explain it, forces him to step by step it. You know what I mean? It's different than when you're just running it through in your head. But when you organically have to talk to somebody else, you build a better framework for what you're doing. And I love that. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not even just in the fact that he misses Alfred. That's a piece. Sure. And obviously you'd make your AI to be something that you're comfortable with and you want it to be personalized to you. I get that, but it serves a very, very functional purpose here. It is not just there to have a mascot. It is there for the purpose of making him do as a detective what you need to do with analysis. I really like that. I'm with you. I want to see what happens when he's with Robin. Yeah. And do we see this AI during those moments, or is this something he exclusively uses when he's alone? I don't know. And I could be very happy with it working both ways. I can't help but wonder, we're going to say it, Tim Drake's in this. Because I just want to say, I'm curious to see, was Tim Drake involved in any way, shape, or form in the creation of this? Because he has that skill set. So it'd be interesting to see what this partnership looks like and if this came out of that partnership.
This 100% has Tim written all over it. Just because Tim and Barbara doing a tag team to create AI Alfred. 100% all over that. But again, I don't know. And that's the thing I love about the fact that was one of the first thoughts that popped in my head. Is this just a Bruce thing alone? And again, Bruce analyzing the situation, breaking it down. I love when he finally comes across Croc and the security guard's there with the 2 people and all that stuff. And I love just that's the analogy. The gun is scaring the children and would only make Croc mad. There's no point in shooting Croc with that gun because it ain't going to do anything. And again, first priority is protect the innocent. What's Bats doing? Get them out of here. Don't make a sound, slip away. I'll deal with Croc. And I love just how that played out.
The beauty of this battle with Croc is that Batman, has got these bad gauntlets and he's ready to go with them. And I love that it was the Alfred AI that is so well programmed that it's going to be his conscience a lot of the ways that Alfred would be. Or what if Dr. Zella's right? Oh, I mean, if you thought about that. And so I love that the question is some creatures do in fact change. And it's starting the debate. And this is something, again, making Batman more effective. I really loved the use throughout this. This is a brilliant sequence. And you get why would Bruce program this if it was Bruce? And see, part of me thinks that this wasn't, when you see these sequences, Bruce was heavily invested in the development of this if he didn't do it all himself.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely way cool in the way that it's done. And what it brings to the table for Bruce is actually an opportunity for Bruce to be even more effective.
Oh, big time. Big time. And the one scene that always does get to me when Alfred's talking to him, and he's got the one butterfly sitting on his finger.
Yeah.
I always wonder, is that just the AI Alfred holding up right where the butterfly would be, or did the AI Alfred generate a butterfly to sit on his hand?
I don't know.
And that's the thing I love, because again, the butterflies throughout this have been a really cool usage, because they're a calming effect on Croc as he's just sitting there looking at the big giant dinosaur with the butterflies around him. Everything's nice and calm and everything's good. And I love just how we get this childlike wonder out of Croc. Because again, he's always one of those villains that I've always felt bad for, in that how much of it is just what's happened to him forced him down the path he is, how much of it is him actually being a monster. And we see right here where he's not actually being a monster. Now, who knows what's going to happen next? How is Croc going to go? I love that, this unknown on this new version of Croc.
What do you think about Batman taking off the cowl?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, he recognized this is a child who's afraid. And I go back to, I saw an episode, I didn't see the whole Batman Beyond series, but I did see a couple episodes. And I remember there was one episode in there where Terry's trying to help this kid, and this little kid's terrified of him. Mm-hmm. So he dropped his mask. Oh, and the kid saw his face. So he's, hey, okay. And then he pulled the kid out. And it ended up costing the kid some problems because he could ID the Batman, so the bad guys were going after him and all that. It turned into a really cool episode. But I do remember him dropping the mask for that kid. So for me, this worked perfectly on with Croc.
How much of Batman Beyond did you see?
Oh, episode here, episode there, that kind of stuff.
It's worth, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off. I think you're bringing up an interesting topic. And obviously, because we're talking about the Bat, we might as well talk about that a little bit. Batman Beyond holds up. I'm doing a rewatch of it right now. I'm rewatching a number of things right now, but that happens to be on the slate because I'm watching Batman the Animated Series and that N66. But I'm doing it gradually. And I think the thing that's nice now is so much of this is so much easier to watch in order, or you can kind of go, I'm going to kick back with a couple episodes of Batman Beyond. I'm going to go kick back with 66. I'm doing that with a lot of shows and just kind of jumping around, especially ones that 66. I told you I was listening to Bat Chums that Mike Gordon and his co-host do, and I really am just digging that show. And I'm liking just kind of watching a couple episodes of it, listening to their commentary on it, kind of do what I do at Talkville and Smallville. I'm just and I'm doing this with Peacemaker too. Peacemaker's got a podcast, an official one, and I'm rewatching Peacemaker and then listening to the episode. And I don't care about pace. I don't care about rushing through any of this. I'm just enjoying it. But I'm going to shout out Batman Beyond, and you just gave me a segue, so I apologize. But if you have not watched all of that series, anybody listen to this? It is a great series. Do not miss that one. Do yourself a favor and it's so easy to get to it now on so many different places. Whether you own it physically or digitally or watch it in the streaming, Batman Beyond's worth it. It's one of those definitely worth checking out. Give it a few episodes too. So if you watch the first one, you're not sure where you're at with it. Watch it good because they're short. They're half hour, less than half an hour because of commercials were back then. Give yourself a chance to watch a good 2 or 3 of them, and you're in for a treat. It's a really, really good show.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's something. Every time I watch an episode, I really digged it. But it was never anything I could get the time to do. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I like when he's talking about the fact that he used to have this really cool dinosaur in his cave, in his home, and he's connecting to Croc through it and just having a conversation that he never thought he was probably ever going to have with Croc. And it's all because Batman's continuing to evolve and he does listen to his confidants. I love this Batman right now. We're getting a Batman that once again is still that dark Bruce, that's still that dark Batman, but he's got a good element of the costumed adventurer in there too. And I loved that guy. And I'm glad to see like a modern version of that. This isn't about them going back. It's as we continue to go forward, how are we evolving Batman where it feels current and contemporary. And now I'm digging this version of him. This sequence is absolutely, when we get to see these moments with Bruce, they're really cool.
Yep. Oh God. Yeah. And again, I love I ate the zoo. I know you did, buddy. I know. That for me was just such a calm, just the two guys just hanging out, casually talking the fact that Croc pretty much ate the entire zoo. And Bruce is thinking, well, I'll be donating money to bring back to repopulate the animals.
I am so hoping that she isn't like doing this in a manipulative way.
Oh God. I will be actually angry if she turns out to be a bad guy.
Yes.
Normally I'm happy with the swerves. Mm-hmm. This one I think I would get upset with. I want her to be a regular character.
Right.
I want her to be around, it
is. I want to be very clear. It is Batman.
Yes, it is Batman. And again, if pretty females, either bad things happen to them or they turn out to be the villains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's hope she's the exception to the rule, and hope she's the new Leslie Tompkins, the new confidant,
Thoughts on Pennyworth Manor, Jim?
Oh, sorry.
Who'd you think I was talking to? I don't have an AI here. Any thoughts on Pennyworth Manor? Apparently not.
When Bruce first moved into it, when they first started doing that fixer-upper, where Savage like, oh, you can have your manor back. He's like, no, I don't want Wayne Manor. I'm doing something new. And he's like, and I love the fact, and I can't remember, I think it was in Batman series, when he's telling the family, like, hey, it's not as big as the manor, but there is still plenty of room for everybody to be here.
Yeah.
And again, working on, it's going to be different. It doesn't have a cave, really. It's more like garages or whatnot. But again, I love the fact that Bruce is changing up and he's closer to Gotham in this place. And of course, it's Pennyworth Manor. It's not Wayne Manor. It's Pennyworth. I do love the fact that we get that. So looking forward to seeing more out of what the new manor is like. Because again, when he bought it, it was completely decimated by one of the Joker attacks or some Gotham event. It was decimated. So it was down to the studs pretty much. And so he was rebuilding it from ground up. So there's going to be little tweaks and whatnot to it that is going to be batified. So looking forward to seeing where the manor goes to.
As he's putting the trophy in, my favorite lines came in. Hey boss, got your ears on? Always, Robin. It's the emergency frequency. Is there anybody on the police force we're friendly with these days? And I like how Bruce is like, don't like the sound of that. Why? And you see that the police have pulled the guns on Robin. And who's going after a perp? It's a real interesting ending, setting a stage. But the geek out for me was the reveal of, that's Tim. Tim's Robin in this.
That's Tim Drake. Yeah, I'm like, yes. And the other thing I noticed, the two cops that got the guns on them.
Yeah.
If you go back to the Vandal Savage page, they're the two cops who said, hey, what do we do if we find him?
Yeah.
If we come across him. Those are those two cops. So again, my guess is Tim's going to get away because Tim is good. But again, they're now, we're going to start getting back into an area where the police don't 100% trust him, don't 100% want to work with the Bat family. So, and again, that's also a cool kind of time when the crooks, when the cops are going after the Bat, and you're going to run into some of the cops who are going to be like, hey, it's the Bat. I ain't arresting the Bat. He's risking his life to save people. I'm not going to do that. I think you got some who are like, hey, this is the job, and you can't fault the ones who are like, this is the job, because that is the job. The Bat family are not officers. They're not deputized. They're vigilantes, and vigilantism is against the law. So I do like when we start getting this gray area of who are the real bad guys here. So another thing in the future I'm really looking forward to.
You want to talk some Immortal Legend Batman?
Yes.
So Immortal Legend Batman Chapter 1, Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom are the writers. Erica D'Urso and Dan Mora are the artists. Igor Monti and Tamara Bonvillain are the colorists. Becca Carey on letters. Cover by Dan Mora. Variant cover by Homer. 125th variant cover by Matt Taylor. Editor Matt Levine. Senior editor Andrew Marino. Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. And I had no idea what on earth this was. The draw for me, admittedly, was, Batman, of course, but Kyle Higgins. I remembered his Nightwing run fondly. I've been loving his independent work that he's been doing. Kyle Higgins is just a writer that I just really enjoy. I was excited to see what he's going to, you remember his Nightwing run, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, so just a really good writer. So the cover was catchy. I'm like, all right, I'm in on this. Let me see what it's like, especially being definitely with the smack dab branding of this. This is an example of how you swerve. And I don't know if you were swerved. I was swerved on what I thought was going on here because of the fact that they did not give us the rules of the world until the end.
Yeah.
And I thought that was absolutely brilliant when you don't know what's going on in the world and they're giving you just nuggets along the way. Then they explain it at the end. They swerve me in the absolute coolest way. And I'm like, oh man, I love that. But this is Batman basically on a very different planet with the concept of Batman being something different than what we've got. I say different with a question mark to it because there's some things to that we really need to talk about as far as what's going on here with this immortal legend. There's 3 immortal legends that are really there. Batman being one of them. There's Nightwing and then there's Robin. There's 3 different immortal legends that are being introduced in this, but for our purposes, as we're starting off this story, it's Immortal Legend Batman. Did you dig this as much as I did? I didn't know I had no idea what it was.
No idea. My initial thought was Batman anime.
Sure.
That was my initial, when I was looking at it, the initial cover, I was like, oh, that's kind of, I wonder if they're doing that kind of stuff. And then you start jumping into it. It's a planet. And like you, I was completely swerved. And I love when I'm 100% swerved. I love that because going through this initial introduction of this guy running from the bat, and he's hunting down and it's just this unstoppable monster. And I love the fact that you get this completely looking, I'm like, okay, is this a tech bat? I'm initially thinking, is this a robot kind of cyborg? All this stuff is going through my head. And then especially when he's like, where is Bruce Wayne? I'm like, oh, Bruce isn't the bat. Oh, that is so cool. And I remember just going, oh, I'm loving this. Bruce is not the bat. And that was something I was like, holy crud, this is going to be kind of cool.
Then we see Bruce and Harvey and Ava D investigating a murder. And this has been a series of murders that have been going on that they're investigating. And just this idea of Sheriff Bruce Wayne and what's going on there. I'm like sitting here like, wow, all right, this is kind of interesting where it's going. I'm totally intrigued by this.
Yes.
And it's embracing the whole Elseworlds thing. I'm a big fan of that White Knight stuff that they were doing. I mean, I like when they're creating Elseworlds where you're crafting a whole premise and just going all in on it and using the regular Batman toys to tell your story. And I love this stuff. And I feel like this is embracing that. It feels very, very fresh and different. I like the sci-fi. I'm a big sci-fi geek. So when you put a really cool sci-fi spin on this, it's like, wow, Batman can really, it's very malleable when you can take that concept and make it work like this. But I loved all that. And I was totally all in. I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to be rooting for Sheriff Batman.
Yeah.
Or Sheriff Bruce Wayne, I should say. Sheriff Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent. I'm like, oh, these two are together.
Yeah. Yes, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so the band's back together and they're going after the Immortal Batman. I'm like, all right, I kind of get what's going on here, and so far I'm digging it. And it's almost like Batman's like Asbats. It's like, let's go after Asbats and take him out. And so I was feeling it. At least when I thought what was going on.
Well, I know we thought that. And again, I'm right with you. I was thinking it the whole time, thinking, okay, this is going to be a story about Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent fighting off a bad Batman. Mm-hmm. Something is wrong with this Batman. Because again, I still was thinking, was this a robot? Is this some type of cyborg? Especially when the Bat shows up and he starts attacking Bruce Wayne. And, like, he's attacking a good guy. He's attacking somebody. And they first throw out that this man is a shadow.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's a shadow? What? Bro? And that was the first little, what's going on here?
Did you just do a Scooby-Doo?
Yes, I just did a Scooby-Doo.
All right, no, I'm sorry. Please carry on. I mean, I was not criticizing it. I was asking the question for clarification purposes. Please continue.
Well, now, and that was the thing that I'm thinking, okay, so this shadow, whatever this shadow is, and my first thought was the Bat's been corrupted by the shadow. Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent are going to defeat him, and then Bruce is going to put on the mantle of the Bat.
Yeah.
Now, I got this whole story running through my head just from just a couple pages. Especially Harvey was selling this great. He was a sheriff. He's he fought off pirates and beasts every day. Ever since he's arrived, he's more than proved himself. That's why he was elected sheriff. Oh, and I love the fact that this is Harvey defending his friend.
Yeah.
And Bruce goes, oh, wait, the killers. It has to be stronger than a beast. That's you. You're the killer. And I love, because I was thinking the same thing, like, yes, this is it. Oh my God, Bruce is going to have to take down the Bat and he's going to become the Bat. I'm cheering, patting myself on the back for figuring it out. Of course, I hurt my arm, pat myself on the back because I'm so smart and I'm completely wrong. And I love the fact that I was completely wrong. This is absolutely brilliant storytelling.
Yeah. The outfit really does a good job too, because it's, what was that, Millennium Batman, that futuristic one that was in the far future.
Yeah.
I like that this one, the face was covered. So there's nothing revealing who's actually underneath that mask, right? And I like the outfit. It looked very futuristic, but had the right amount of like Batman, and it looked intimidating in action. So it did everything that I would want a bat suit to do. And that part like really stuck out for me in this one, especially when he was going up against Harvey Dent. The whole rationalization of what was going on, I did not see at all where this story was going. I love the action. I love that this is very much, it felt like Alien almost to a certain extent, right? Where you've got this like beast and the two of them are being overpowered and it's more like survival horror than anything else that's going on here. And that part really worked for me as well. That the fact that they can't possibly beat this guy. And that was something that really, I thought worked.
He gets hit by that truck and he's still going strong.
Yeah.
You gotta love that, just that, oh my God, we are going to die here. Well, that kind of life, that kind of thought flashing through your head. And again, I'm rooting for these three saying this, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is our Oracle right here. Cause she's got even the red hair and I'm like, are they going to do kind of an Oracle thing where she's cause again, I'm thinking in my head, the Batman is corrupted. Bruce Wayne is going to defeat him and take on the mantle as the Bat. He's going to have Harvey as his partner, and those two are going to be his confidants, and these three. And again, I'm writing the story in my head, thinking this has got to be what it is. And even when they start shooting at him, they're dropping everything they can at him. She even turns the big guns on him.
And I'm knowing it's suicide.
Yes.
Like this, listen. If I don't do this right now, and here's the thing, it's not only am I going to bluff him, I got to mean it.
Yeah.
So, and I really don't feel she was bluffing him in those moments. I feel like she meant it when she was sitting there. She's like, listen, this is either going to stop here right now or we're all dying here. And I felt like she would pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, she 100% would have, because she had that was her only choice. And I loved how this played out, and then you power the page flip. you flip the page and we find out that Bruce is not Bruce. Bruce is a shadow. And I loved how the shadow starts creeping and he's like, yes, I killed those people. Yes, I absolutely loved it. Yes, I relish earnings and I relish earning the trust of these idiots before I snuff them out one by one. But get off your high horse. We both know you're no different. You love having your polite face, the one people can look up to. So your other face can satisfy the desperate yearning to met out violence without consequence. I love this moment right here where we get the villainous reveal. It's a whisper, only the two of them can see. And Bruce calls his bluff. And we see that the Immortal Batman is actually Bruce Wayne. This, I was like, again, completely swerved me. I'm like, oh my God, this is even better than the story I had in my head. Yes.
Yeah, I loved that piece. It did make me wonder, so what does Two-Face look in this? Are we going to get Two-Faced Harvey in this one? And is it going to be half man, half shadow?
Well, okay, so the villain they're up against here is the Two-Faced man.
Right.
So the shadow I hope not, but I'm thinking this shadow is going to possess Harvey.
Maybe.
Oh, and that's what I'm worried about for Harvey, just because he's the two-faced man.
Yeah.
I'm worried he's going to possess Harvey.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at in this one too. It's a good story when you care about the characters, right?
Yeah.
And I really do care about what's happening with Harvey in this one. The battle between the Two-Faced Man and Immortal Batman was cool. I love the whole bat press thing, and we get to see the actual combat. That part was really cool. It is funny how you go from now feeling like this is this horror villain that's going to kill everybody to saying, man, that's Batman.
Yeah.
That shift was like a light switch. Once we realized that, wait, he's the real bad guy.
Yeah.
It's not Batman. Then it's like, I'm all in on Team Batman. Whereas before I wanted them to take him down in the worst way. Now I'm just kind of like, oh no, my allegiances have completely flipped.
Yes. And I do like the mix of the supernatural kind of element to it, where it's like, become the night, and he powers up and all that. So again, I'm normally not I want a supernatural Batman, but they're giving me a supernatural Batman that I really enjoy. And I'm like, yes, okay, let's do this. This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause always part of the need is Bruce Wayne is the coolness of Batman is that he is so just conditioned and so training and prepares for everything so that he's ready to rock and roll no matter what the circumstance. So adding this now supernatural element to it is going to make things, again, a completely different story. And that's what Elseworlds are for. This is the point of an Elseworld right here. And I'm so happy we're getting this.
So the serial killer is Bruce, the Two-Faced Man, right? So I love that Batman's taking ownership of it, and I wonder if there's more to the perception of responsibility for this that we haven't seen yet. But I like that he's like, no, this isn't your responsibility, it's mine, as he goes to kind of take off and start dealing with this problem. I really liked that this issue ended here and then kind of gave us a backstory of this world. I think that was something that, and I mentioned it earlier, this idea, if I knew ahead of time that we had these three immortals and what was going on, and that one of them was Bruce and how that all came about, I think it would have lost something for me. The mystery really was, this is an example of, I don't know what made them do it this way, but it was brilliant. It was absolutely the best choice in the world, because I did at the end want to know more about the location, the shadows, what this is all about, what's going on. But I liked discovering it after the first issue, not in the midst of, because I think it would have really, I know it would have really taken away from the reveal we got.
Oh, big time. And the thing I loved is the fact that when we're getting this backstory, we see that Stephanie Brown passed the mantle on to Tim Drake, and Harper Row passed the mantle on to a stunt pilot, Dick Grayson, and this Batman passed the mantle on to Batman. We don't know who the master was before Bruce, and I love the fact that we don't know who it is, because for me, in my head, it's Ra's al Ghul was the original mantle of the Bat. and he passed it on to Bruce Wayne. But we don't know for certain because they never give us a good, clear look at the guy so that we can actually say, oh, it's got to be that. But whoever that was that passed it on, I know we're going to see them again. And I love the fact that they're all thinking the immortal Batman has fallen. He's gotten corrupt. Bruce Wayne can't handle it. So it's up to Thomas Elliott to take the mantle to back. I love the fact that it's Hush, this world's Hush, trying to take the mantle from the Bat. So not only does Batman have to deal with Two-Face and the Shadows, he's going to have to deal with Tommy Elliott.
We know who the original Batman is.
Who?
It's the Sensei in the end. The one who's sending Tommy Elliott after Batman.
But who is it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't know.
That's what I mean.
And
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
We know it's the person telling the story, but which one of the current universe's characters is the original Sensei?
Oh, it could be what you're saying. It could be Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. I would lean more towards Ra's al Ghul. I hope they don't do like Alfred or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see bad immortal Alfred, but Ra's al Ghul makes the most sense. I love the idea that like he's saying, I should have chosen you, Tommy Elliott, and should be you, and I need you to go. But in order to do that, you have to take it from him. And I love where this is going. This is a great use of Hush in this.
Oh God, yeah. Especially again in this universe, things are a little bit different. Things are going to be, they can play around with stuff.
Sure.
And that's the fun of Elseworlds, is that we can get these little tweaks, these little changes.
Our final discussion this episode is going to be the Justice League Dark Tomorrow special. Mark Guggenheim and Mark Waid are the writers. Cian Tormey, it's Ciantormey, is the artist. Romulo Fajardo Jr. on colors, Dave Sharp on letters. The cover is by Cian Tormey. The variant cover is by Jorge Fornes, Nathan Sersey, Fernando Blanco. The 125 variant cover by Mark Buckingham and Marissa Louise. Marquise Draper is the associate editor. Paul Kaminsky is the editor. I know there was name butchery in there, horrid name butchery. So apologies for that completely. I really was jonesing for this because I'm ready for an event. I just am. I feel like in that point where bring her on. And this has all the makings of that. So where are you at as far as, I know one of the things with our kind of shift in podcasts, we shifted back to kind of covering a lot more ground. Then we shifted back to DC. Where are you at on your reading of the World's Finest and Justice League, and where are you at like in this crossover? Like because this special really is taking place off of a recent crossover that was in there.
Justice League, yes. World's Finest, no.
Okay.
So I'm way behind on World's Finest, but Justice League, like I know what they're talking about with the Legion of Doom and all that kind of what happened across time and space and how these people got here. So I'm all up to date on that. But any of the stuff that was in World's Finest, I'm not. So there was some me figuring out some of the story, but again, the story, the book itself does a brilliant job with explaining who the players are and what's going on. So if you didn't read that stuff, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm completely lost. I can't read this. No, you can't. The story does a great job telling you along the way what's going on, what's happening. It's kind of like if all the other stuff, you like the rest of the story.
Yeah, yeah. So we open up with Wave Rider, and it starts this whole mystery that's going on of, I don't want to say who's killing the time travelers, because I think that Omega on the face says a whole lot of this is like, this is dark side. It's meant to be in your face, but just seeing this multiple time travelers been killed. Wave Rider's seen this before. And one of the dangers of being a time traveler is you've seen your death happen lots of different ways, but then reality, because of shifting choices and decisions that are made along the way, reality winds up playing differently. It did not in this case.
No. Yeah. Goodbye, Wave Rider. Goodbye, Hank. Yeah. Been nice knowing you, buddy.
Yeah, Extant. Having him been there was really great too, because kind of seeing him again, and just his whole interplay. So what's your experience with Extant? Do you
Look, I kind of remember somebody talking about how they had this mystery and everybody figured out it was Captain Atom. So they did a swerve and they said, oh no, it's Hank Hall, who's actually this person. And when it was supposed to be Captain Atom. And
did you read Zero Hour?
No, bits and pieces of it.
So he was a big bad in Zero Hour.
Yeah.
So definitely, there's a lot of history there. It just dawned on me when you were referencing. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, he's not referencing Zero Hour at all. Did he read Zero Hour? Zero Hour is a good book. If you haven't had a chance to read that one, that's a big timey-wimey DC event that was quite good. I really enjoyed it. So maybe it's something we'll do some point. You probably should throw it on the list as being something that we would do, because that's a big DC event that would be worth covering, especially with what happened in it. So yeah, no, it's a good one. So when you get events like this, so there's a lot of pre-reading for this, and I feel like this did what these specials are supposed to do. It understood that there's going to be people reading this cold. And just coming in and being like, all right, I'm going to read the Dark Tomorrow special. And I can't speak to that because I've got a lot of pre-reading for this one. In your case, where you haven't read certain things, did they give you everything you needed to be where the story needed to take you?
Oh God, yeah. And it's funny, like with Exant, I really didn't 100% know who he was, but they did a good job explaining these are the time people. These are all the time travelers. And every time they show a different time, they show a different person getting gutted. You're like, okay, that's the next time person who dies. That's the next time person who dies. So they're doing a pretty good job. And we have the one central character, the one central time traveler, Legend, who is going through time trying to figure out what's going on. And he's only surviving because he's doing the Jackie Chan, where it's stick and move, scramble, run. He ain't just sitting there and trying to fight them off. He's running and fighting and run and gun. And I love seeing that character go there. And again, it's showing us the different time, showing us time is broken. Not exactly the most technical term, but at least it's descriptive. I loved just that notion of this is something that's happening across all of space and time. This isn't a single event in a single Earth or a single moment. No, it's spread throughout everything. And I loved how right from jump, we're getting this idea that this is a massive thing happening.
So Legend's an interesting one because there's one point in time where Legend gets hurt and refers to itself as we, and it means plural. I mean, I think it's meant as plural. And when I say itself, I don't know, is it male or female? I'm assuming male, but as we know with suits of armor and stuff like that, the swerve sometimes is there's a female underneath there. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with Legend. Another part of me was thinking, is that Rip Hunter under there? And that's why we're not saying anything. Is it Booster Gold under there? And was the Skeets in there as well? I don't know, like who is actually underneath that thing. When you do time travel, you can get away with stuff like this. And usually they want to remain unknown because they're a target. Yeah. So I get why Legend's flying under the radar, at least. So where my head's at, why is Legend not revealing anything? It's because Legend wants to survive this. That's my thought.
Yeah. Well, I 100% agree with you. The reason Legend's not saying anything is because they don't want to reveal who they are to make them a bigger target.
Yeah.
But part of me was thinking Firestorm.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know which combination of Firestorm. That's the whole thing. I don't know if it's a combination we're used to. And part of it is...
I like that a lot. I was not thinking that at all, but boy... I don't know that that's where it's going, but there's nothing here that's telling me that it couldn't be.
Right. And exactly. Again, part of the guess on Firestorm is the Wii references, but also you look at the energy blasts coming out.
Yeah.
That's not the armor shooting it. That's actually the person shooting it.
How it's not the armor?
I don't know for certain. I'm guessing.
Yeah. That isn't me like arguing with you for the sake of arguing. I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, well, I think here's the thing. I'm nodding when you're sitting here saying Firestorm's certainly on the suspect list. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that one at all, but I don't think you're wrong as far as that being a possibility.
Because my first thought was Rip Hunter. That was the first, when I first
Mine too.
This.
Yeah.
That was 100% Rip Hunter and whole Legends, because Legends of Tomorrow, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
And then, again, it wasn't on this, it was like on the second, maybe even my art read through when I started looking at just the layout and the physical, I'm like, and again, the one we reference got me thinking, two people, and the first person I think of two people is Firestorm. And then I'm looking at
I guess here's the line that's throwing me off. So this is Legend originally saying that time travelers like me. And I'm like sitting here like, I don't consider Firestorm a time traveler, but is this telling us something new about Firestorm? I don't know. I'm not against that. I was trying to think through, is there another time traveler that this would apply to? Which is where Booster Gold came in.
Right. But, and again, if you go back to Legends of Tomorrow, wasn't Firestorm one of the people on the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and again, that's, I'm like, he was a time traveler on that show, and he was a time traveler on that ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder, and that was again, but also we don't know if it is, again, this is my guess. I'm not saying for certain. It has to be. No, I don't know. I really don't.
I like
That's my guess. That's my guess. That's where I'm hanging my hat on right now. Because again, like you, my first thought was the first thought that popped in my head. Yeah, I was thinking it could be the Booster, but we've seen in other stuff that Booster's a little busy right now. Booster's getting tortured, massively tortured, and just basically flayed alive. And it's
let me be clear. When I said Booster, I want to be very clear. Some future version of Booster. So I sometimes you think like there's two versions of the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was not thinking it was the Booster that's being tortured. I thought is this some far future version from him or other timeline version of, I don't know. Because we've seen that with the Flash before where there's been two Barrys and you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
This could be the Booster that tried to go back in time to save Barbara Gordon from the Joker. And
sure,
he kept failing, but the Joker captured all the pictures of Booster trying on the camera. And the Bat, because I still remember that reading that sequence when the Bat lets Booster know, I know all about you, buddy, and shows him the pictures saying, hey, you tried to help Barbara, but you couldn't. You know, and he's like, this whole act you're playing is just an act. I know that. This could be that Booster. This could be any other Booster out there. So throwing again, we're both saying the same thing. It could be this person. It could be that person. Now, the thing is, with the creative team we got on this, it could be somebody completely else that we haven't even thought of. And I love the fact that it could be somebody completely out of left field that we're not going to see coming. So I'm in on the ride on this one, baby.
I want to give a shout out to Comic Timing. Obviously, longtime friends of ours, but there was a retrospective episode. I guess I'm looking at. So I did a little search for extant, just to kind of like wrap my head around all those pieces. And I'm leaving a lot out right now because you haven't read it. We'll probably talk about it at some point. But when I did the AI search and it came back with all the details about extant, it shouted out Comic Timing episode 231. And I love those guys, so I want to shout it out. So it's kind of cool. But I just thought that was really neat that like podcasts, there's so many great comic book podcasts out there. When you think about 20 years ago when we started doing this, it was, there was a number of them then, but it's exploded since then. And podcasts have come and gone and stuff like that. But I love that looking at when you do an AI search, like, podcasts are now becoming a part of the media that it's pulling in. That stuff's neat. I'm very into that. So I just wanted to shout out that those guys were a part of that one, and that these retrospectives that podcasts are doing are now being part of basically pulling research information on this. That's way cool. Way cool.
Nice.
Then it's transcending the medium almost. These were audio podcasts at the time that are now going this route. Very, very cool. I'm with you on when I see the flight, though, that like, man, does it sure, the Firestorm thing, certainly, except we're not seeing him transmute anything. We're seeing blasts. I don't know. I don't know that that means anything.
Yeah, I know. And I love the fact that we're both saying the same thing. I don't know. And it could be this. It could be this. Just the energy and excitement. Because like you, I'm ready for a good size, a nice meaty event. I want something big, a universe changing event happening. And okay, give me Darkseid. Yeah, that's immediate. That's an event. Oh, because we know Darkseid is involved in all of this.
Yes,
he is the source and the cause, and he's the alpha and the omega of this event.
He's the whatnot.
Yeah, he's the whatnot of this event. But so I love the fact that we're getting and we have these little mysteries that is building into. You can throw out who the big bad is right from the beginning if the build is still there. If you still have the same kind of energy level with the unknown. You can spoil the ending if the journey is that much exciting.
Yeah. The Watchtower, when we flip to it now, I forgot about Gold Beetle. I'm talking about since now coming back into this timeline with these appearances. I'm glad that there's certain things that have been kind of dropped in the past where all of a sudden, let's bring those toys back in here, especially when we're talking about a timey-wimey kind of story arc that's coming up. Like, of course, bring that back in. But I was glad because we did not get to touch much on this character at all on her previous appearances. So I'm glad that we're getting a chance to let's do a little bit more with her. And Wonder Woman is certainly a great place to start.
Oh, God, yeah. And, of course, just the Gold Beetle is another one of my suspects as to the identity of Legend.
Oh, you are thinking that a Gold Beetle's... Yeah.
Is Legend, yeah.
I'm thinking somehow it's more than one thing.
Yeah.
That's why the we with Booster Gold went to Skeets being potentially one of the things. But I'm not set on anything right now. I'm enjoying, like, I love that Firestorm's kind of one of those pieces because I wasn't considering two people in that capacity. Yeah, so it's really cool. I like the analysis with the Atom and with Mr. Terrific. And, they're trying to get evidence at this point, like what's going on and trying to solve what's going on. And I really like that you got two of these big heavy hitters in there. I'm liking this new Justice League. Have you read any of the Atom Project?
No, I haven't yet. I got to.
It's good. It's really good. The stuff that they're doing right now, as far as this expansion of what the Justice League is as a concept, is really working for me. I know we're going to talk about Justice League Red next episode, but I'm liking that we've got some of these other explorations of what the Justice League team looks like. I love the Atom. I love the concept of the Atom. You and I have really enjoyed the Ryan Choi books. When they're out there, and it's great. And I'm a big Ray Palmer fan, but I'm really enjoying seeing how they're being reincorporated in the Justice League. This DC right now I like that they're putting a lot of, and they've been doing this over the past couple years, putting a lot of the puzzle pieces back in place. And in a new way, and kind of, it's just, I don't know, I feel like a real strong energy. Now, a little aside, have you been following it all? That it's always the constant thing. Will somebody actually buy the Warner Brothers side of it? Because apparently it's up for, like, you could buy it if you wanted to. And Netflix is a name that has been dropped as a potential interested party. Like anybody else, whenever that happens, my worry goes to if somebody's going to buy it, at least have it be somebody that values the comics. If they don't value the comics, I do not want them to buy it.
Well, how much they're asking, because I didn't just come back from Vegas, and maybe I can afford it now.
Are you going to buy DC?
Oh, heck yeah.
That's great. Some of your ideas, though, I get scared by. Yeah, with like you in charge and unlimited power. And
phenomenal cosmic power.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those pieces because I think... And you get into crazy speculation then, when people are doing that, well, they have a great relationship with Zack Snyder. Would they bring back the Snyderverse and stuff like that? And I'm kind of like sitting here like, I would love to see where the Snyderverse was going to go, but I don't want it in place of what we're getting now. I want it in addition because I like where they're going. I like Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Superman. I'm jonesing for Supergirl. I want this Clayface movie. Everything they're doing right now, I'm like really into. That being said, I'm greedy. And I wouldn't mind seeing them finish off the Snyderverse, what that Justice League movie was going to really look like. Let's do that. So if that's something that could happen via like a Netflix or something, okay, I'm all in. That would fall under that Elseworlds banner that James Gunn was talking about anyway.
And, well, also you think about it, a sequel to Black Adam, where we get to see Superman Black Adam, and we get to see Shazam join the Justice Society. All those different things that could have been, I'd love to see, but
I'm greedy. My feeling with that stuff is if we don't get it in some form of like media where we can actually watch it, I'd love to read it. Make it into a comic. That would be the ideal.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
They said, if they sat down and said, okay, this is what it was going to be. This is where, and give us that story like they did with Batman 89. They gave us what the continuation of the Michael Keaton Bat universe was going to look like, or at least an idea of where it would go.
So I don't want to gloss over what's going on with Gold Beetle. She's dying regularly.
Yes.
Like phasing in and out of, and it's not really dying. She's phasing in and out of existence. And I love that the Atom's basically saying, not at all. It's concerning. And I love that they don't know what to do about it right now. But the point is, this can't be a coincidence with everything that's happening right now. This is part of it. It means something. And imagine knowing that that's happening to you and nobody's able to fix it.
Right. That is a little bit freaky.
Yeah. Because what happens if it doesn't stop? I liked Airwave in this.
Yeah.
And Amazing Man. I like when they take characters like that and they're bringing them in. This is what I mean. I think DC's doing a great job of expanding, and bringing back elements of their lore. And just DC's continuity is something where you got to be kind of like, wait, how are these people here and what is still in continuity and what is not? That is so uniquely DC.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, we're going to plop them back in here and we're just going to kind of make that work again. Especially post New 52 where they nuked everything and then came back and was like, well, guess what? We've got convergence.
We're going to bring it all back again.
And I love that. I'm glad they did. It's one of the reasons why when they do reboots and stuff like that, that stuff doesn't bother me at all now. Because they're eventually going to do stuff like this where, again, if you had said when New 52 was running, hey, at some point in time, we're going to see a Justice League special where we're going to have Amazing Man and Airwave talking it out. It's
the funny thing I love about with Airwave, this kid started off as oh, my powers aren't really anything. And they showed how he became a vital part of the Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
And then he betrayed the Justice League because he got tricked. Oh, and I love the fact that even now, they're still just tapping into the potential power this kid has. And even Legend says, if he knew, he thinks that it's the thought blue, if he knew what I know, he'd know he can do this. And there's this so there's even more coming out of Airwave. So Airwave's powers that we think initially we thought, oh, they were nothing, they're turning out to be an Omega level power. And I love the fact that this kid is, as he's learning it, we're learning it right along with him. And you're trying to figure out what's going to happen to him. They're doing a great job with his story over multiple stuff. And again, here, they give you enough information so you understand why the kid is so gun shy. He got messed up big time by Grodd. He got tricked. He got manipulated. And he betrayed the Justice League. And the Justice League not only forgave him, but said, hey, it happens to us all. Welcome to the team. And they welcome him back into the team. And I love that about this Justice League, about how they're recognizing this kid is a victim and he can do so much more than he knows. And even the Justice League right now doesn't know the true level of this kid's power.
One of the things that I really enjoyed was when we got the whole bit in there where Legend bursts on and, that's where we get the we are dying part, which is a whole little wrinkle onto this whole thing. But and I like even when he's talking to them, it's it occurs to me that we could use some help, so it's one of those, I think he's recognizing just how dangerous it is. this concept of the Justice League having this much larger team to pull from, and the idea of them meeting as a group and saying, what squad do we need for this? You know, we're not going to have 40 people involved in this. We've got to pull the best of the best talent for this mission. And I like that they need to analyze things further before they can decide on the best squad, which says a lot about what's going on here. So that part's really great. They go into the room, and I love the observation deck when they go in there, and the squad that's sitting over there. We've got Terry McGinnis, we've got Marilyn Moonlight, the Huntress, and Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
Now that's a ragtag squad.
Oh, God, yeah. Definitely ragtag.
And I really like that group. Like, this actually, to your point of Legends of Tomorrow, boy.
This feels like Legends of Tomorrow. And again, let me throw out...
And wait a second. If you take a look at Legend right now, if we're going off of your theory, we see some of Legend's skin exposed right now, which, if you're asking at least one of the two people, if it is in fact Firestorm,
yeah,
we would now know one of the two people that is comprising that Firestorm.
Right.
So, because you were saying before, which version of Firestorm is it? So, is it Ronnie or the Professor that's in there?
See, I would guess Ronnie.
Me too.
Here's the other thing, and let me just throw this out there. He couldn't, not, when he's saying we, he could be talking about we as in the time travelers. Now, he does throw that out there. He's like, obviously, I'm talking about, when you say we, what do you mean we? He's like, obviously, I'm talking about the time travelers. Now, is he just saying that to throw them off that there's more than one there? Or is it actually we that talking about the time travelers?
But I think the thing here is, hey, who are you? We are dying. I don't think that was referring to the time travelers.
Could be. Again.
I think that was referring to whatever that is.
No, and again, I agree.
Yeah.
But there is that other side to it that it's not, he wasn't referring to as himself as we or herself as we. Yeah, because we're not 100% certain if this is male or female. We don't know. And again, it could be multiple people in there.
Sure.
You know?
It's a big suit.
So, I know. So again,
it's roomy. It could fit easily 8 or 9.
Yes.
No, I'm intrigued by this. This is really, really good. The Wave Rider coming in and that ragtag group, boy, it's adding a lot more weight to your idea that this is kind of a Legends of Tomorrow kind of vibe. Because that group, like when you're looking at that lot, like, I don't know, man. If they did another season of that TV show, could you see this being the crew that's on that ship?
Oh,
yes.
God, yeah.
Oh, yes.
100%, man. 100%.
That's what I loved about Legends of Tomorrow.
I especially love Jonah Hex is like, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean, no? Did you hear him? No, I'm not going. I love that about Hex. But he ends up going anyways.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Even though he says no, he still goes.
That's such a Hex.
Hero. He's like, I'm not a hero, but he still goes. Yeah.
Speaking of something I'm jonesing for, can we get somebody who's going to do like what Palmiotti and Gray did and do like a really good Jonah Hex book again? I miss that.
Yes.
I really miss that.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Because that book was great.
Yeah.
Both takes on it. When they relaunched it was great too. Plastic Man being the backpack, I thought was great. They had all the right feels in this.
Yeah. Plastic Man sometimes is borderline creepy though. That is a little bit creepy to turn yourself into a backpack and ride on somebody's back. They've shown evil versions of Plastic Man where he turned himself into a woman's dress and they were wearing him. So that, to me, that is a little creepy, becoming a backpack, not really knowing.
Here's the problem, though. When you compare it to that, the backpack's not so creepy.
That's not so creepy, but there is that level of creepiness that could happen.
He's an odd dude. I mean, there's no way about it. You're not going to sit there and go, well, geez, he's really balanced. No, he's crazy. I enjoy, there's times where I really enjoy Plastic Man being a part of a team. And there's other times where I don't, just because I think Plastic Man's a character that really needs the writer that gets how to utilize Plastic Man. I'm liking him here.
Yeah.
This is a good use of him. I've got a soft spot because of the cartoon Plastic Man and Baby Plas from when we were kids.
Yes.
And
when he was on Terrifics, I think
Yes.
him terrific.
Yeah.
So again, the right writer can do the character enough of a goofiness that you have fun with it, but that doesn't take away from him supposed to be a hero.
Sure.
Stuff. So there's got to be a right level of balance. Now, one of the things I did wonder, and again, when Amazo goes to do matter absorption power, Legend knew, don't do that. How did Legend know that?
Because he's Airwave and Amazing Man? I don't know. I started thinking about that too. I'm like, is it possible that
he's amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm throwing out another person that it could be.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
And they even had the one neat little line when he's like, when Amazing Man and Airwave were talking, and Legend's like, call me Legend. Oh, egotistical much. Don't ask me. I call myself Amazing Man. Yeah, point taken. Is that a little nod? Is that a clue? I don't know. I love the fact that I keep throwing out, maybe it's this person. Maybe it's that person. I am leaning towards Firestorm, but again, I'm not 100% satisfied on that. And Gold Beetle is another one that I kind of really like.
Here's the crazy stuff. How does he know all the things that Airwave can do?
Right.
Because later on, he really does. He's analyzing the whole team, and then he's talking to Airwave, and he's like, believe me, I know a little bit, well, more than a little bit about failure and redemption. So is that because of Firestorm? Is that because of, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And again, he knows Airwave.
Yeah.
He knows Airwave from the future. He knows what this guy can actually do when it's time. And again, it's Airwave who's able to pinpoint the location of the source of this. Oh, and I love the fact that we had that moment with him when he's got that kind of like down try. Oh, okay, I'll try. Like, don't try, do it. Do it now. Yeah, and you get the way the artistry does Airwave, where he's like, it looks like a little kid, and then it kind of zooms in, and you get that moment of, bam, I know where they're coming from. You get that really hero look on his face. I love how they did that.
Yeah. This is really, really interesting. I'm wondering who, I'm really, really driven by, like, who actually is this character.
Yeah.
So they're going on and having the battle, and I really enjoyed seeing them continue this fight. Or we're seeing, one of Darkseid's lieutenants coming in, and we're seeing just a deeper battle going on with these new Legends of Tomorrow. I really enjoyed everything about this whole entire fight that was going on here. Seeing this team together, this is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy in DC. Is I love your top tier teams. I love the Titans, the Justice League. These are teams, Justice Society of America. These are teams that really mean something to me, and they have this rich history. But when you do stuff like this and you put together these experimental teams and you kind of mix it up a little bit, you get to explore some characters you wouldn't normally see in singleton books. Right. And I love when you get a chance to like deep dive into these characters more because you don't have a heavy hitter that's a part of that group. And I really like that lineup.
Yeah. Now, again, I liked how they reveal that Darkseid's lieutenant is Shadowlass from Legion of Superheroes. If you weren't able to figure it out, if you didn't know, they gave you that nice nod.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you don't know what's going on with the Legion of Superheroes, they're now giving you that clue along the path.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool usage, and why these shadows, because the Shadowlass creating now. And again, her jacked up from the energy that Darkseid's giving her. Also, the fact that she was at the vanishing point, giving her even more juice going on. So I thought that explanation on all that stuff that we already kind of knew some of this stuff going on was really good in this story element.
What's really interesting about this kicks this whole storyline because they can't get back.
Yeah.
So they've been traveling through time trying to figure out what's going on and put a stop to the death of, try to find a way to put a stop to the death of these time travelers. but now they're trapped and they can't get back to the 21st century. They can go elsewhere, but they can't go to the 21st century. This is a great way to leave us right now with knowing that, okay, we've dangled this in front of you. You want to read more? Continue in Justice League Unlimited and this DCKO, which I'm really excited to read. And we got Legion of Darkseids continuing in Superman number 28. So there's multiple threads of this continuing in other books before they're obviously going to come back and reconverge.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad that the DCKO isn't just it's being tied directly into the story. It's just a cool, because I'm into watching. I have where you have heroes fighting and this and that, and the slugfest. I'm into those books, but having it be part of the story, being developed in the story, makes those fun books even better. It adds some substance to what would just be a fun book.
Speaking of a fun book, we flip the page. I do want to shout out the preview for Cheetah and Cheshire, Rob the Justice League, because Greg Rucka on writing and Nicholas Scott on arts. I love Nicholas Scott. I mean, this is one of my, you're telling me, what are some of your short lists of current artists? Nicholas Scott's up there. Yeah. She's one of my favorites. So seeing her back again and doing, especially, dude, she's doing Cheshire again. Yeah. I've always loved her take on Cheshire. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm in on this one.
Oh, big time. I'm 100% in on this one too.
So this is a good time to be a DC fan. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about these books today.
Like a human helicopter, the Flash rotates his body, rising faster, faster.
RagingBullets.com is our show website. That's where you can find out more details about upcoming episodes and current releases. That feeds into our Twitter, and it also feeds into our Facebook fan page. We are proud to be a part of an amazing Facebook group community. I want to thank everyone who posts there with news and articles and commentary, sharing just what's going on around the world of comics and pop culture. If you have blogs and podcasts and things like that, and you feel that the cross-promotion would be beneficial to you, please do that. I'm a big community person. I love, being able to shout things out and if you're a listener and you're like, hey, there's a podcast episode, like I just shouted out Comic Timing before, please feel free to do that. I benefit from that. A lot of times I don't get to listen to, there's so many great podcasts out there right now. Point me to an episode if you think there's something really cool that's relevant to a topic we're discussing or something that you'd like us to think about discussing. It's always great to get turned on to a podcast that maybe I haven't been caught up on. The About Us section of our show website, where you can find out details how to connect with us on gaming platforms and personal social media. I am a regular co-host on Is It Jaws every other week with Paul Spataro. That is a film review podcast using the Jaws 1 through 4 scale. We have amazing guests that join us on various panel discussions about various types of films. So please consider checking us out over at Is It Jaws. And we are sponsored as always by DCB Service and InStockTrades.com. Mr. Segulin, what is going on over at DCBService.com?
We have Absolute Blackest Night hardcover 2026 edition, 38% off, only $77.50. Thank you, DCBS.
Over at InStockTrades.com, I am jonesing for DC Finest, and they got the Spectre, the Wrath of the Spectre. This is 656 pages of Spectre goodness. A lot of these never collected before in a Spectre collection. $39.99 regularly, 55% off, only $17.99. I want to thank DCB Service and InStockTrades.com for not only supporting us, but a lot of other podcasts too. Really appreciate them. Our next episode, Jim and I are going to be back, and we're doing another week of this, where we're going to be taking a look at Justice League Red #1, Aquaman #9, and Court #1. We will see you next week.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Are you ready to sing your song?
I'd say we are. Yeah, let's sing it now.
Okay, this should be fun. Now get ready for your cue. Okay, Sean?
Okay.
Okay, Jim? Jim? Jim!
Okay. Raging Bullets time is here. We talk about what we hold dear. Comic books and TV shows. Superheroes and their clothes. Justice League and so much more. I just love Green Lantern Corps.
Okay, fellas, get ready. That was very good, Sean.
Naturally.
Jim, you're a little flat there, so be careful. Jim? Jim? Jim!
Okay. Justice League and so much more. I still love Green Lantern Corps. DC Comics are what we know. The Raging Bullet Show. DC Comics are what we know. The Raging Bullet Show.
Excellent job, guys.
Let's sing it again. Yeah, let's sing it again.
No, that's enough. Let's not push it.
Push it. What is that? Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I didn't mean anything by that.
I think
Sean,
it's right
Jim,
there.
how long do you want the song to go?
Look, it's